The first thing Anna heard after telling her parents she was pregnant was not a scream. It was the soft click of her father locking the front door. For a second, she thought he was protecting the family from the cold October wind. Then he turned around, slid the key into his pocket and said, "You have until midnight to pack your things." Anna stared at him. Her mother stood beside the dining table with both hands pressed against the polished wood, as if she needed it to remain upright. Her older sister, Victoria, sat at the far end of the room in an expensive cream-colored coat, watching everything with an expression that looked almost like pity. Almost. Anna was 19. She had $17 in her wallet, a cracked phone, no job, and a child growing inside her. And until 30 seconds ago, she had believed she still had a family. "Dad! Don't!" Robert Miller's voice was quiet. That made it worse. When he shouted, there was room for anger to burn itself out. But this tone was final, businesslike. The same voice he used when firing employees from the small construction company he had spent 25 years building. "You lied to us," he said. "I didn't lie. You hid it. I only found out 2 weeks ago." "And the father?" Anna swallowed. That was the question she had been dreading. Her mother, Margaret, finally looked at her. "Tell us his name." Anna lowered her eyes. "I can't." Victoria gave a small laugh. Not loud enough to be openly cruel. Just loud enough to be heard. Robert's face hardened. "You can't." Anna looked at her sister. Victoria immediately dropped her gaze to the diamond bracelet on her wrist. Anna felt something cold pass through her. The bracelet was new. She had noticed it the moment Victoria arrived that evening. A gift apparently from her fiancé. A fiancé everyone in the Miller family adored. Daniel Cross. 28 years old. Investment manager. Educated. Ambitious. From a wealthy family. The kind of man Robert proudly introduced as the son I never had. The same Daniel who, 3 months earlier, had cornered Anna in the garage during her parents' anniversary party. The same Daniel who had been drinking. The same Daniel who had begged her afterward not to destroy his future. The same Daniel who had called her twice after she discovered the pregnancy. And the same Daniel who had said something she would never forget. "If you tell Victoria, nobody will believe you." Anna had believed him. That was why she had stayed silent. But now Robert took a step toward her. "You expect us to support you while you refuse to tell us who did this?" Margaret whispered. "Robert. No. We have spent years trying to keep this family respectable." Anna almost laughed. Respectable. That word again. Everything in the Miller household revolved around respectability. The right clothes. The right church. The right neighbors. The right people invited to dinner. The right daughter. And that daughter had always been Victoria. Victoria was 8 years older. Beautiful in the effortless way magazine covers promise women they could become if they purchased the correct products. She had been student council president. University honors. Corporate lawyer by 26. Engaged to Daniel by 27. Whenever relatives asked Robert how his daughters were doing, he started with Victoria. He sometimes forgot to mention Anna. Anna had never hated her sister for it. Not until recently. Not until she began noticing how quickly Victoria's smiles disappeared when no one else was looking. "You know what the worst part is?" Robert continued. "Tomorrow we are having dinner with Daniel's parents to discuss the wedding." Anna's stomach tightened. Of course. The wedding. Everything always returned to the wedding. The ceremony was scheduled for January. 400 guests. A historic hotel. Imported flowers. A photographer who had shot celebrity weddings. Robert had taken out a second mortgage on the house to help pay for it. Anna knew because she had overheard her parents arguing. Margaret had begged him not to spend so much. Robert had replied, "Victoria deserves this." Anna had wondered what she deserved. Apparently now she had her answer. "You couldn't wait?" Robert said. "You couldn't make one responsible decision before your sister's wedding?" Anna stared at him. "This has nothing to do with her wedding. It has everything to do with it." "No, Dad." Her voice shook. She forced it steady. "This has something to do with Victoria." For the first time, Victoria looked directly at her. The air changed. Margaret noticed. "What does that mean?" Anna saw panic flicker across Victoria's face. There. Gone in a second. But real. Anna's heart began hammering. Maybe Victoria knew. Maybe Daniel had told her. Maybe all the strange looks, the sudden distance, the cold comments over the last few weeks. Maybe her sister already knew everything. Anna opened her mouth. Victoria stood abruptly. Mom. She's trying to make this about me because she can't stand that something good is happening in my life. Anna went still. What? Victoria's eyes filled with tears so quickly that Anna almost admired the performance. I didn't want to say anything. Say what? Victoria looked at Robert, then Margaret. I found messages. Anna felt the room tilt. What messages? On Anna's phone. That's a lie. Victoria ignored her. She's been talking to married men. Margaret covered her mouth. Robert turned slowly toward Anna. Anna's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? Victoria pulled her phone from her bag. I took pictures. Of course she had. She crossed the room and handed Robert the phone. Anna rushed forward. Dad, wait. Robert lifted one hand. Stay there. His eyes moved across the screen. His expression changed. Disgust. Anna's throat closed. What did she show you? Robert looked up. Messages with a man named Michael. Anna blinked. Then understood. Michael Turner. Her manager at the cafe where she had worked during the summer. 42. Married. Father of 3. And completely uninterested in Anna romantically. He had helped her apply for a business scholarship. They had exchanged dozens of texts about forms, deadlines, references, and an entrepreneurship program in Boston. Anna had been accepted. She had planned to tell her family tonight. Before the pregnancy confession destroyed everything. Those messages are about a scholarship. Victoria shook her head sadly. Then why were you deleting them? I wasn't. I saw you. You went through my phone? I was worried about you. Anna laughed once breathlessly. Worried? Victoria stepped closer. Somebody had to be. Robert handed the phone back to her. I've seen enough. No, you haven't. Anna grabbed her own phone from the counter. I can show you the whole conversation. Robert refused to look. Dad. Enough. He was helping me apply for a scholarship. To do what? Study business. A bitter smile touched Robert's mouth. Business. Anna's face burned. Yes. You work 3 shifts a week in a cafe and suddenly you're a businesswoman? Victoria looked away, hiding a smile. Anna saw it. This time she did hate her. Only for a second. But it was enough. I got in, Anna said. Silence. Margaret blinked. What? The Northbridge Young Entrepreneurs Program. Full tuition. Housing included. Robert frowned. Northbridge had a reputation. Even he knew that. How? Anna almost smiled despite everything. I applied. But you never told us. I wanted to surprise you. Something passed across Margaret's face. Pride. It lasted perhaps 2 seconds. Then Robert asked, and now? Anna placed one hand over her stomach. I don't know. Victoria answered for her. She can't go. Anna looked at her. Why not? Because you're pregnant. That doesn't automatically mean. You'd embarrass yourself. No. I'd have to work harder. Victoria's expression sharpened. You have no idea how the real world works. Anna almost said, neither do you. Instead, she asked the question that had been burning inside her since Victoria arrived. Did Daniel tell you anything? Victoria froze. Margaret frowned. Why would Daniel know about this? Anna watched her sister carefully. Victoria recovered fast. Know about what? The pregnancy. A plate slipped from Margaret's hand. It struck the floor and shattered. Nobody moved. Victoria's face had gone pale. Robert looked from one daughter to the other. Why would Daniel know Anna was pregnant? Anna knew this was the moment. If she spoke, everything changed. Victoria's wedding. Her father's pride. Daniel's career. Her mother's fragile idea of their perfect family. But then she remembered the garage. Daniel's hand over her mouth when she tried to call for Victoria. His apology afterward. His promise it would never happen again. His message the next morning. You were drunk too. She hadn't been. Not even close. She remembered his second message. Think carefully about what you accuse people of. And his third. Victoria would choose me. Anna looked at her sister. For one impossible second she wanted Victoria to save her. To say she knew. To cross the room. To hold her. To choose her. Instead, Victoria slowly smiled. It was tiny. Invisible to their parents. A warning meant only for Anna. Then Anna understood. Victoria knew. Maybe not everything. But enough. And she had already chosen. Anna? Her mother's voice trembled. Anna's courage disappeared. Not completely. Just enough. No reason, she whispered. Robert exhaled in disgust. This is exactly what I mean. Drama. Secrets. Accusations. I didn't accuse anyone. You were about to. Victoria turned away as if wounded. Robert immediately moved closer to her. Protective. Anna noticed that too. She wondered how many times in their childhood she had seen the same thing without understanding it. Victoria cried. Robert protected. Anna explained. Nobody listened. Pack, he said. Margaret stared at him. You're serious? Completely. She's pregnant. Then perhaps she should have thought about consequences. Anna felt something inside her break. Not loudly. Not dramatically. It was more like a rope that had been stretched for years finally snapping. She looked at her mother. Are you going to let him do this? Margaret's eyes filled with tears. Anna. Mom. I think everyone needs time. Anna stared at her. Time. You can stay with your friend Sophie for a few days. A few days. Margaret looked at Robert. He said nothing. That was when Anna understood that a few days was not what anyone meant. She went upstairs. No one followed. Her bedroom looked exactly as it had that morning. A half-finished sketch on the desk. 3 business books stacked beside her bed. A photograph of her and Victoria from 12 years earlier, both laughing with ice cream on their faces. Anna picked up the photograph. For a long moment, she looked at the girl her sister used to be. Then she turned the frame face down. She packed 1 suitcase. Clothes. Laptop. Documents. Phone charger. The envelope containing her Northbridge acceptance letter. At the bottom of her desk drawer was another envelope. Inside were ultrasound photographs. Anna held one in trembling fingers. The baby was barely recognizable. A tiny shape. A secret life. Looks like a bean, the nurse had said. Anna had laughed then. She hadn't laughed much since. She slipped the photograph into her wallet. Then she heard the bedroom door close behind her. Victoria. Anna didn't turn. Get out. We need to talk. No. Anna. Get out. Victoria locked the door. Anna slowly faced her. The tears were gone. So was the injured expression. Her sister's face was perfectly calm. You were going to tell them. Anna stared. You know. Victoria folded her arms. Daniel told me. The word struck harder than Anna expected. When? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. Before Anna had even confirmed the pregnancy. He told you what happened? He told me his version. What version is that? That you've been obsessed with him for months. Anna actually laughed. She couldn't help it. You believe that? Victoria's jaw tightened. He said you kissed him. He attacked me. Don't use that word. What word would you prefer? You always do this. Anna stared at her. Do what? Turn yourself into the victim. The cruelty of it was so precise that Anna lost her breath. Victoria continued. You've been jealous of me since we were children. No. Yes. My grades. My career. Dad being proud of me. Daniel. I never wanted Daniel. He says otherwise. Daniel is lying. Victoria stepped closer. Her voice dropped. Then why didn't you tell me immediately? Anna opened her mouth. No answer came. Because that question had tortured her too. Because she had been frightened. Because she had been ashamed. Because some part of her had known exactly what was happening now would happen. Victoria took her silence as victory. Exactly. Anna shook her head. You knew I was pregnant? Yes. And you said nothing? I hoped you'd deal with it. Anna stared at her. Deal with it. You know what I mean. No. Say it. Victoria looked at Anna's stomach. The meaning was clear. Anna instinctively covered herself with one hand. You wanted me to get rid of the baby. I wanted you to stop ruining everyone's life. The room went completely silent. Even Victoria seemed to realize she had gone too far. But she did not apologize. Anna's voice dropped to a whisper. Everyone's life? Daniel made a mistake. Anna stared at her. A mistake. He was drunk. So that makes it okay? No. But one terrible night shouldn't destroy two families. What about mine? You're 19. What does that mean? It means you'll recover. Anna looked at her sister as if seeing a stranger wearing Victoria's face. You think I'll recover? You're young. But Daniel's career matters. Yes. And your wedding matters. Yes. And Dad's reputation. Yes. And me. Victoria hesitated. That hesitation was Anna's answer. Anna turned back to the suitcase. Victoria's voice softened. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. No, you don't. Daniel's family is investing in Dad's company. Anna stopped. Slowly, she looked over her shoulder. What? Victoria cursed under her breath. She hadn't meant to reveal that. Anna faced her fully. What did you say? Nothing. Daniel's family is investing in Dad's company? Victoria looked toward the door. Keep your voice down. Anna's mind raced. Robert's construction company had been struggling for more than a year. Employees had left. Projects had vanished. Bills arrived in red envelopes. Yet somehow recently her father had seemed optimistic again. Anna had assumed business had improved. Now she understood. How much? Victoria said nothing. How much, Victoria? $2 million. Anna's knees almost gave out. $2 million. Daniel's family wasn't merely helping. They were saving Robert Miller from bankruptcy. And Dad knows. Not about you. You're protecting Daniel because his family is buying Dad's company. They're not buying it. They're buying silence. No. That's exactly what this is. Victoria grabbed Anna's arm. Listen to me. Dad doesn't know what happened. Mom doesn't know. Daniel's parents don't know. If you keep quiet, this can still be contained. Anna pulled free. Contained. He'll provide money. Anna went still. What? For the baby. Anna's skin crawled. He offered to pay me? He'll make sure you're comfortable. You discussed me with him? I'm trying to solve this. You're trying to buy me. Victoria's expression turned impatient. Stop being dramatic. Anna stared at her sister for several seconds. Then she did something Victoria did not expect. She smiled. Not because anything was funny. Because suddenly everything was clear. Every accusation downstairs. The messages. The convenient discovery of Anna's pregnancy. Robert's outrage. Victoria had not simply watched Anna get thrown out. She had helped make it happen. You showed Dad those messages on purpose. Victoria said nothing. You wanted him angry before I could tell him. Silence. You wanted me gone. Still nothing. Anna stepped closer. How long have you been planning this? Victoria's face finally changed. Fear. Small but unmistakable. Anna had guessed correctly. You need to leave, Victoria said. You're scared. I'm not. You are. Victoria opened the door. Dad said midnight. Anna grabbed her suitcase. No. Victoria turned. Anna walked toward her. I'm leaving now. She passed her sister, then stopped in the hallway. One day, Anna said quietly, you're going to regret choosing him. Victoria's eyes hardened. And one day you're going to realize the world doesn't owe you justice. Anna looked back at her. No. She tightened her grip on the suitcase. But it owes me the truth. She carried the suitcase downstairs. Robert was sitting in the living room. Margaret stood near the front window, crying silently. Neither asked why she was leaving early. Anna reached the door. Her hand touched the lock. Then Robert spoke. Leave the car keys. Anna turned. Of course. The car was technically his. A 10-year-old Honda he had given her for graduation. Apparently gifts had conditions. She placed the keys on the table. Margaret wiped her face. How will you get to Sophie's? I'll figure it out. It's raining. Anna looked outside. Cold rain streaked the glass. Robert stared straight ahead. Anna wanted him to change his mind. That was the humiliating truth. Even after everything, some part of her wanted her father to stand up and say he had gone too far. He didn't. Anna opened the door. Anna, Margaret whispered. She looked back. Her mother took one step forward, then stopped. I'm sorry. Anna waited. Sorry and come home. Sorry your father is wrong. Sorry I choose you. But there was nothing after it. Only sorry. Anna nodded. So am I. Then she walked into the rain. The door closed behind her. She heard the lock turn. The same soft click. Only this time she understood exactly what it meant. She was alone. She walked nearly 2 miles before her phone died. Sophie wasn't answering. The rain soaked through Anna's coat. Her suitcase broke halfway down Hawthorne Avenue, forcing her to drag it along the sidewalk. By the time she reached the 24-hour bus station, her hands were numb. Inside, 7 people sat beneath flickering fluorescent lights. Anna took the corner seat and placed her suitcase between her knees. She had $17. No charger. No family. No plan. She reached into her wallet and pulled out the ultrasound photograph. Okay, she whispered. Her fingers trembled. You and me. For the first time that night she cried. Not loudly. She pressed her fist against her mouth so nobody would hear. She cried for the child who would never know the family Anna thought she had. For the father who had locked the door. For the mother who had watched. For the sister who had betrayed her. And for the future that seemed to have ended before it began. Then someone sat down beside her. An elderly woman in a dark blue coat. She carried no luggage except a leather handbag. Anna quickly wiped her face. The woman glanced at the ultrasound picture. First child. Anna nodded. Scared. Another nod. The woman smiled gently. Good. Anna frowned. Good. Fear means you understand something important is happening. She reached into her handbag and offered Anna a tissue. Anna took it. Thank you. They sat in silence for a moment. Then the woman noticed the envelope sticking out of Anna's suitcase. Northbridge Young Entrepreneurs Program. Northbridge. Anna looked down. Yes. My husband taught there. Anna almost laughed at the coincidence. I was accepted. Congratulations. I'm not going. Why? Anna looked at her stomach. The woman followed her gaze. That isn't an answer. Anna stared at her. My family threw me out tonight. The woman's expression changed. Not pity. Interest. Because of the baby? Mostly. Mostly. Anna hesitated. Then perhaps because this stranger knew nothing about her, she told the truth. Not everything. Just enough. She spoke about her family. Her sister. The engagement. Daniel. The pregnancy. The scholarship. She did not notice how carefully the woman listened. When Anna finished, the woman asked, What kind of business did you want to build? Anna almost smiled. It doesn't matter now. What kind? Anna looked through the station windows at the rain. My dad's company wastes money constantly. Suppliers scheduling inventory. Everything is done through phone calls and spreadsheets. I had this idea for software that could help small construction companies predict material needs and avoid delays. The woman's eyes sharpened. How long have you been working on it? About a year. You built anything? A prototype. Alone? Yes. Does your father know? Anna gave a tired laugh. He thinks I make coffee. The woman smiled. Most people confuse being overlooked with being incapable. Anna looked at her. Why are you here? The woman's smile disappeared. For the first time, sadness entered her face. I'm waiting for someone who probably isn't coming. Before Anna could ask what she meant, headlights swept across the windows. A black sedan stopped outside. A man in a suit entered the station, spotted the older woman, and hurried toward her. Mrs. Harrison. Anna straightened. The woman sighed. I suppose I've been found. The man looked at Anna, then at the suitcase. Is everything all right? Mrs. Harrison stood. Yes. She turned to Anna. What is your name? Anna. Anna what? Miller. The woman held out her hand. Evelyn Harrison. Anna shook it. The name meant nothing to her. Not then. Years later, she would understand that meeting Evelyn Harrison in that bus station was the second most important thing that had ever happened to her. The first had happened earlier that night when her father locked the door. Because some doors close to keep you out. Others close so you would finally stop looking backward. Evelyn opened her handbag, removed a business card, and handed it to Anna. Call that number tomorrow. Anna looked at it. There was no company name. Only a telephone number. For what? A conversation. About what? Your prototype. Anna blinked. You haven't even seen it. No. Then why would you care? Evelyn studied her for a moment. Because I've spent 40 years investing in businesses. Anna's breathing slowed. And I learned something a long time ago. What? Good ideas are common. She glanced toward the station entrance. People desperate enough to turn them into empires are much rarer. Then she walked away. Anna watched the sedan disappear into the rain. For several seconds she simply sat there. Then she looked at the card again. Evelyn Harrison. The name still meant nothing. She didn't know that Evelyn had once been one of the most powerful private investors in the state. She didn't know that Evelyn had funded companies before they became household names. She didn't know that Evelyn had recently sold most of her holdings after the death of her husband. And she certainly didn't know why Evelyn had been alone at a bus station that night. That truth would come much later. For now, Anna placed the card beside the ultrasound photograph in her wallet. Then her dead phone suddenly vibrated. Once. Impossible. Anna stared at it. The screen flickered on with 1% battery remaining. A single message appeared. Unknown number. Anna almost ignored it. Then she read the words. Her blood turned cold. I know what Daniel did. Before Anna could respond, another message arrived. Your sister isn't protecting him because she loves him. Anna stopped breathing. A third message appeared. She's protecting herself. Then the phone went black. Anna stared at her reflection in the dead screen. Outside, thunder rolled over the city. For the first time that night, fear gave way to something else. A question. What had Victoria done? And why was someone finally trying to tell Anna the truth? Anna did not sleep that night. At sunrise, she borrowed a charger from the bus station clerk and turned on her phone. The anonymous messages were gone. No number. No trace. Only one new voicemail remained. From Daniel. Anna, whatever you think happened, don't make this worse. She listened twice. Then deleted it. At 9 o'clock, she called Evelyn Harrison. That call changed everything. Evelyn did not give Anna money. She gave her something harder to find. A chance. Anna entered Northbridge, raised her baby alone, worked nights, studied during naps, and rebuilt her prototype until it became something investors could no longer ignore. Her daughter Lily was born in May. Anna held her against her chest and made one promise. You will never have to earn your place in someone's family. 3 years later, Anna's software company signed its first national construction supplier. 5 years later, it employed nearly 200 people. By 30, Anna Miller was the majority owner of Meridian Systems, a company valued at more than $80 million. She never changed her surname. Some wounds she wanted forgotten. That one she wanted remembered. And during all those years, her parents never called. Not once. Until the morning her assistant entered her office carrying a folder. You have visitors. Anna looked up from the financial report. Scheduled. No. Her assistant hesitated. They say it's urgent. Who? Robert and Margaret Miller. Anna's hand stopped. 10 years collapsed into 1 second. Rain. A broken suitcase wheel. $17. Her father asking for the car keys. Her mother saying I'm sorry and nothing more. Anna looked through the glass wall of her office. Below, the city stretched beneath the 32nd floor. What do they want? Her assistant opened the folder. A loan. Anna almost smiled. How much? $2 million. The exact number made her blood cold. Daniel's family had once offered $2 million to save her father's company. Now Robert needed the same amount again. Bring them in. 5 minutes later, the door opened. Robert walked first. He looked smaller. Older. His expensive confidence had disappeared. Margaret followed, clutching a handbag to her chest. Neither recognized Anna immediately. Why would they? The girl they remembered had worn thrift store sweaters and carried coffee trays. The woman behind the desk wore a dark suit and controlled the company that had recently purchased 3 of Robert's biggest clients. Robert smiled nervously. Ms. Miller. Anna stood. Yes. He stepped closer. We're incredibly grateful you agreed to meet us. Margaret stared at Anna. Something flickered in her face. Recognition trying to surface. Anna gestured toward the chairs. Please. They sat. Robert began immediately. My company has encountered a temporary liquidity problem. Anna almost admired how elegantly he described collapse. How temporary? 6 months. Your debt suggests otherwise. Robert blinked. You've reviewed our accounts? Of course. Anna opened the folder. You owe 4 banks. 2 suppliers have filed claims. Payroll is overdue. Your largest remaining project is 6 weeks behind schedule. Robert shifted. Margaret kept staring. Anna continued. And your personal house is collateral. His face tightened. We had some bad luck. Bad luck? A former business partner deceived us. Anna knew the name before he said it. Daniel Cross. Silence. Margaret looked down. Anna leaned back. What happened? Robert swallowed. He married our daughter. Anna felt nothing. She had stopped following Victoria's life years ago. And he convinced us to expand. We borrowed heavily. Then he moved company funds through investment accounts. Stole them. Robert's jaw clenched. Yes. Where is he now? We don't know. Anna studied him. And Victoria? Margaret finally spoke. She's gone too. Anna's eyes narrowed. Gone where? We thought she left with him. Thought. Margaret's voice broke. Until 3 months ago. She reached into her bag and removed an envelope. We received this. Anna opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. Only 4 lines. Dad, Mom, Daniel lied to all of us. Anna told the truth. I knew she did. And I helped destroy her anyway. Anna stopped breathing. Her mother whispered. That's when we understood. Robert looked at the floor. Anna read the letter again. There was another line at the bottom. Ask Daniel what happened to Michael Turner. Anna froze. Michael. Her old cafe manager. The man Victoria had accused her of sleeping with. The man who had helped with her scholarship. What happened to Michael? Robert looked confused. We don't know. Anna stood abruptly. 10 years earlier, she had assumed Victoria fabricated the messages because they were convenient. But what if Michael had known something? What if he had been the anonymous sender? Her assistant knocked. Sorry to interrupt. She entered carrying another envelope. This was delivered downstairs for you. No sender. No. Anna opened it. A photograph fell onto her desk. Daniel, Victoria, and Michael Turner. All 3 standing outside a restaurant. The date printed on the corner was 2 days before Anna had been thrown out. On the back were 6 words. Victoria was never protecting Daniel. Anna's pulse hammered. Below it, she was afraid of what Michael knew. Margaret rose. Anna. The sound of her name shattered the room. Robert stared at her. For several seconds nobody moved. Then Margaret covered her mouth. Oh my God. Robert's face drained of color. Anna. She looked at them. No disguise remained. No distance. Their abandoned daughter was standing in front of them. The owner of the company they had come begging for money. Robert gripped the chair. You. Anna's voice was steady. You said I'd embarrass this family. Margaret began crying. Anna, please. You locked the door. Robert whispered. We didn't know. You didn't ask. We made a mistake. Anna looked at him. No. Her voice softened. A mistake is taking the wrong road. She pushed the loan application across the desk. You made a choice. Robert looked at the papers. Are you refusing? Anna picked up the photograph. I haven't decided. Hope flashed across his face. Then she added. Because I finally understand something. What? Anna looked at Victoria's image. You didn't come here because your company failed. She turned the photograph around. You came because Daniel disappeared with your money. Robert nodded slowly. But someone else has been searching for him too. She pointed to Michael. And I'm going to find out why. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Anna answered. A man spoke. Ms. Miller. Yes. My name is Michael Turner. Anna's knees almost weakened. The voice continued. You don't know me anymore, but I know why Victoria vanished. Anna looked at her parents. Where is she? A long silence. Then Michael said. Alive. Margaret gasped. Anna gripped the phone. Where? You'll see her soon. When? Michael's answer came quietly. She's downstairs. Anna turned toward the glass wall. Far below, a woman was crossing the lobby. Older, thinner, but unmistakable. Victoria. And beside her walked a little boy. Perhaps 9 years old. Anna stared at him. Same dark hair. Same eyes. Daniel's eyes. Then Victoria looked upward, directly toward the 32nd floor. As though she knew exactly where Anna was standing. Anna's phone vibrated with one final message. Before you give your parents $1, ask them whose child Victoria raised. Anna looked at the boy again. And suddenly understood why Victoria had disappeared. The story Anna had believed for 10 years was still incomplete. Because Daniel had not destroyed only one sister. And the deepest betrayal had never happened the night Anna was thrown out. It had happened months earlier. Inside her own family. Victoria entered Anna's office without knocking. For 10 years Anna had imagined this moment. Sometimes she imagined screaming. Sometimes she imagined slapping her sister. Sometimes she imagined simply turning away. But she had never imagined Victoria standing before her with a frightened 9-year-old boy holding her hand. Robert rose so quickly his chair nearly fell. Victoria! Margaret began sobbing. My baby! Don't! Victoria's voice stopped her. Margaret froze. Victoria looked exhausted. There were gray strands in her hair, bruised shadows beneath her eyes. But the cold confidence Anna remembered was gone. The boy hid behind her coat. Anna stared at him. What's his name? Victoria swallowed. Ethan. And whose son is he? Nobody answered. Anna's eyes moved to Robert. Then Margaret. Then back to Victoria. The anonymous message burned in her mind. Asterisk ask them whose child Victoria raised. Asterisk. Victoria. Her sister's lips trembled. He's Daniel's son. Robert closed his eyes. Margaret sank into a chair. Anna felt something sharp twist inside her. So that's why you disappeared. No. Victoria looked at Ethan. He's Daniel's son. Then she looked directly at Anna. But I'm not his mother. Silence. Anna frowned. What? Victoria reached into her handbag. She removed a yellow envelope. Inside was a hospital document. She placed it on Anna's desk. Anna read the name once. Then again. Her hands went cold. Mother, Sarah Turner. Turner. Michael stepped through the still-open office door. Anna stared at him. He was older now, his hair almost completely gray. Sarah was my daughter, he said. Anna's breath caught. Victoria pulled Ethan closer. Michael continued. She was 17 when Daniel met her. Robert whispered. No. Yes. Michael's eyes hardened. He had been seeing her for months before what he did to Anna. Margaret covered her mouth. Anna looked at Victoria. You knew. Victoria's face collapsed. I found out 2 days before Dad threw you out. The photograph. Victoria, Daniel and Michael outside the restaurant. Suddenly made sense. Michael confronted you. Victoria nodded. He told me Sarah was pregnant. Anna could barely speak. And you still protected Daniel? I thought Michael was lying. I told you Daniel attacked me. I know. Victoria's scream made Ethan flinch. She immediately lowered her voice. I know. Tears ran down her face. I knew even then. Anna stared at her. Victoria sank into a chair. I had spent my entire life becoming the daughter Dad wanted. The degree. The career. The fiancé. The wedding. Everything had to be perfect. Robert looked wounded. Victoria. She turned on him. Don't. Robert stopped. You taught me that love was a prize, she said. Anna made mistakes and got disappointment. I succeeded and got affection. So when my perfect life started falling apart, she looked at Anna. I sacrificed you to save it. Anna's face hardened. At least now you're telling the truth. Victoria nodded. I convinced myself Daniel had made one mistake. Michael laughed bitterly. One. Victoria lowered her head. Then I learned about Sarah. What happened to her? Anna asked. Michael looked at Ethan. His voice softened. She gave birth. She tried to expose Daniel afterward. Anna already feared the answer. And Daniel's family paid her. Michael paused. But Sarah didn't want money. She wanted him prosecuted. Ethan looked up. Michael stopped speaking. Victoria finished. She died in a car accident 6 weeks later. Margaret gasped. Anna stared at her sister. Accident. Victoria shook her head. I don't know. But you suspected Daniel. Yes. And still married him? Victoria's silence was unbearable. Robert whispered. My God. Victoria looked at him. You want to judge me now? Robert recoiled. You knew something was wrong too. Anna turned sharply. What does she mean? Robert's face changed. That was enough. Anna stood. What did you know? Nothing about Daniel hurting anyone. What did you know? Robert looked toward Margaret. Margaret began crying harder. Finally Robert said, Daniel's father called me the morning after you left. Anna went completely still. He asked whether you had made any accusations. Her voice became almost inaudible. And what did you say? That you were confused. Anna stared at him. You knew. No. You knew enough to ask questions. Robert's eyes filled. I was terrified. Of losing the investment. Yes. There it was. 10 years of wondering. 10 years of secretly imagining that if her father had known the truth, he would have chosen her. Now that illusion died too. You sold me for $2 million. No, Anna. That is exactly what you did. Margaret reached toward her. We regretted it. Anna stepped back. You regretted losing the money. No. Margaret's cry echoed through the office. We regretted losing you. Anna looked at her mother. Then why didn't you find me? Margaret opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Because there was no answer that could repair 10 silent years. Michael broke the silence. There's something else. Everyone turned. He placed a USB drive on Anna's desk. Sarah recorded Daniel. Victoria went pale. You found it. Last month. What's on it? Anna asked. Michael looked at Robert. Enough to send Daniel to prison. Robert sank back into his chair. But Daniel disappeared. Michael shook his head. No. Anna's pulse quickened. You know where he is? I know where he has been. Michael pointed toward Anna's computer. Your company. Anna stared at him. What? For the last 18 months, someone connected to Daniel has been purchasing Meridian shares through shell companies. Anna's heart stopped. How many? Nearly 12%. That was impossible. Her legal team would have noticed. Anna turned toward her assistant. Get Marcus from compliance. Now. Her assistant hurried away. Victoria stood. Anna, he's coming after you. For money. No. Victoria looked terrified. For that. She pointed to the USB drive. Daniel thought I had Sarah's recording. That's why I ran. Anna looked at Ethan. You took him. Victoria nodded. After Sarah died, Daniel's parents secretly paid to place Ethan with another family. I found him years later. Michael's eyes filled with tears. I couldn't raise him then. I was fighting Daniel in court and losing everything. So Victoria did? Yes. Ethan squeezed Victoria's hand. Anna's anger did not disappear. But something changed inside it. Her sister had betrayed her. Then spent years protecting another child from the same man. It did not erase the past. But it complicated hatred. Anna picked up the USB drive. Why bring this to me now? Michael looked toward the floor-to-ceiling windows. Because Daniel finally knows who owns Meridian. A chill ran through Anna. Her office phone rang. Her assistant answered outside. Then rushed in. Her face was white. Anna. What? Security says we have a visitor downstairs. Who? They scanned his ID. She swallowed. Daniel Cross. Victoria stood so abruptly Ethan screamed. No. Anna looked toward the elevator doors at the far end of the executive floor. 32 floors below them, a man she had not seen since she was 19 had entered the building. Robert whispered. Call the police. Anna already had her phone in her hand. Then the elevator indicator lit. 12. 18. 24. Victoria grabbed Anna's arm. He knows we're here. 27. Michael moved Ethan behind him. 29. Anna looked around the room at the people who had destroyed her past. Her father. Her mother. Her sister. The child carrying proof of another family Daniel had shattered. And suddenly Anna understood. Daniel had not come to ask for forgiveness. He had not come for Victoria. And he had not come for the USB drive. Her computer flashed. An alert appeared. Emergency board meeting, Meridian Systems. Anna opened it. Then stopped breathing. A document had been filed 10 minutes earlier. A shareholder group was demanding her immediate removal as CEO. At the bottom was the name of its representative. Daniel Cross. The elevator reached 32. The doors opened. Daniel stepped out wearing a tailored gray suit. Older. Calmer. Smiling. He walked toward Anna's glass office as if he already owned it. Security rushed after him. Daniel stopped outside the door and raised both hands. I'm not here to cause trouble. Anna stared through the glass. Daniel smiled directly at her. Then he held up a folder. I'm here to buy the company. Anna opened the door. You don't have enough shares. Not yet. He looked past her at Robert. Then Margaret. Then Victoria. His smile widened. But your family does. Anna frowned. My family owns nothing. Daniel laughed softly. That's what they told you. Anna slowly turned. Robert had gone pale. Margaret looked at the floor. Victoria whispered. Dad. Anna's eyes locked onto her father. What did you do? Robert could not answer. Daniel did it for him. Ask your father where the first $50,000 that funded Meridian really came from. Anna stopped breathing. Evelyn had always told her that her earliest seed investment came from an anonymous private trust. $50,000. The money that had allowed her to build the first real version of her software. The money that had started everything. Anna had never known the source. Until now. She looked at Robert. You. Robert shook his head. No. Then Margaret whispered. It was me. Anna turned toward her mother. Margaret's face crumpled. The morning after we threw you out. I sold my mother's jewelry. Anna stared at her. I gave the money to Evelyn Harrison. Victoria looked stunned. You knew Evelyn? Margaret nodded. She was my aunt. Anna felt the room tilt. Evelyn Harrison. The stranger in the bus station. The woman who had supposedly met Anna by accident. It had never been an accident. Anna looked at her mother. You sent her. Margaret whispered. Yes. Daniel began to laugh. Anna ignored him. For 10 years she had believed the night she lost her family was also the night she met a stranger who changed her life. Now she knew the truth. Her mother had watched her walk into the rain. And then secretly had sent someone to follow her. Someone powerful. Someone who already knew exactly who Anna was. But before Anna could ask why, Daniel placed the folder on her desk. You're all missing the important part. Anna looked down. Inside was a copy of Meridian's original incorporation agreement. One clause had been highlighted. Anna read it. Then read it again. Her blood ran cold. The anonymous trust that financed Meridian's beginning had received an equity option. An option nobody had ever exercised. Until that morning. Daniel smiled. Congratulations, Anna. He pulled out a chair and sat across from her desk. You built an $80 million empire. Then he looked at Margaret. With money belonging to the one family you thought you escaped. Anna's fingers tightened around the document. Daniel leaned back. And now? His smile disappeared. I own enough of it to take it away from you. Daniel expected Anna to panic. Instead, she closed the contract and smiled. You bought 12% of Meridian and think you own me? I own the option attached to your original investment, Daniel replied. By noon your board removes you. Anna tapped the final page. You should have read the entire agreement. The office door opened. Evelyn Harrison walked in. Daniel went pale. That's impossible. The option can only be exercised by me, Evelyn said. Or my designated successor. You bought assets from my trust, Daniel. You never bought my authority. For the first time, Daniel's confidence cracked. But Anna knew Meridian was never his real target. She lifted Sarah Turner's USB drive. You came for this. Daniel's eyes betrayed him. Michael stepped forward. It contained Sarah's recording. Victoria pulled Ethan behind her. Daniel stared at the boy. My son belongs with me. No, Victoria said. He doesn't. Then she placed another document on Anna's desk. It was Daniel's father's will. Anna read it twice. If Ethan's identity is proven, he inherits 31% of Cross Capital, Victoria finished. Daniel loses control. Everything became clear. Daniel had stolen Robert's money because his own empire was collapsing. He wanted Meridian's assets before Ethan's inheritance could destroy him. Daniel lunged for the USB. Security grabbed him. You think Victoria is innocent? He shouted. Ask who gave me your medical records. Anna turned toward her sister. Victoria broke. I did. Why? I thought Daniel's family would pay you to disappear. I was terrified of losing my wedding, Dad's approval, everything. Anna stared at her. You traded me for your perfect life. Yes. Victoria didn't defend herself. And I'll regret it until I die. Then she pulled an old phone from her coat. But I kept his messages. One read, she's gone. Make sure she stays gone. My father will transfer the first payment Monday. Robert staggered backward. The investment was payment for silence, Victoria said. Anna inserted Sarah's USB. A recording filled the office. Daniel's voice. He admitted knowing Sarah was underage. Admitted paying her. Then Sarah asked about Anna. Daniel answered. Her family already chose Victoria. She won't be a problem. The room went silent. Anna looked at her father. For 10 years she had wondered whether he would have protected her if he had known. Now she knew he had chosen not to know. Sirens sounded below. Daniel stared at Anna. You planned this. I sent the recording to the police before you reached my office. Officers entered moments later. As they handcuffed him, Daniel smiled. You still think Evelyn rescued you? Anna frowned. Daniel nodded toward the older woman. Ask why she was really at that bus station. The elevator swallowed him. Anna turned. Evelyn. Evelyn's expression changed. Your mother called me that night, she said. But I was already looking for you. Why? Evelyn placed an old photograph on the desk. A younger Evelyn stood beside a man named Thomas Harrison. My husband. Robert suddenly whispered. No. Evelyn ignored him. Thomas owned the company where Robert worked before Miller Construction existed. Anna looked at her father. What happened? Evelyn answered. Robert stole Thomas's client list, contracts, and research. Anna's stomach tightened. What research? The construction efficiency system that inspired Meridian. Anna remembered the old notebooks she had found in her father's garage as a teenager. Her first algorithms had grown from those ideas. She stared at Robert. They weren't yours. No, he whispered. Anna felt as if the floor had vanished. Her empire had begun with stolen work. She turned toward Evelyn. So you invested because you wanted your husband's research back. At first I wanted proof. You used me. Yes. The admission hurt more than a lie. Then Evelyn placed one final document on the desk. Thomas Harrison's will. Thomas left ownership of his research to one person. Anna looked down. 2 initials were written beside the inheritance. M. Her heartbeat stopped. Anna Miller, Evelyn said. That makes no sense. Why would your husband leave it to me? Nobody answered. Then Anna noticed Margaret crying. Not surprised. Terrified. Anna slowly turned toward her mother. You knew Thomas. Margaret closed her eyes. Robert looked broken. Evelyn whispered. Tell her. Margaret shook her head. Please. Tell me what? Robert finally spoke. Thomas wasn't just my employer. Anna stared at him. He and your mother were together. The room went silent. Anna looked at the photograph. At Thomas. At the will signed shortly before his death. Then back at Margaret. Why did he leave everything to me? Margaret's lips trembled. Anna suddenly understood. No. Robert lowered his head. The man she had called Dad her entire life could not look at her. Anna whispered, "Was Thomas Harrison my father?" Margaret began to sob, and Evelyn answered the question no one else could. Yes. Anna stopped breathing. Her company had never belonged to Robert. The ideas had never belonged to Robert. And now she discovered that perhaps even she had never belonged to him. Behind her, Robert whispered, "That's why I could throw you out." Anna turned. His eyes were full of shame. "Every time I looked at you, I saw him." That hurt more than being abandoned, because suddenly Anna understood the truth. She had spent her entire childhood trying to earn a father's love from a man who had punished her simply for existing. Anna looked at the office door through which Daniel had just been taken. 10 years earlier, Robert had opened another door and ordered his pregnant daughter out. Now he stood in her company asking her to save everything he had stolen. Anna picked up his loan application, then slowly tore it in half. You wanted Victoria. Another tear. You chose Daniel's money. Another. And you threw away the daughter carrying the legacy you stole. She dropped the pieces onto the desk. Robert stared at them. Anna. No. She opened the office door. Now it's your turn to leave. And this time when the door closed behind a Miller, Anna was the one holding the key. 6 months later, Robert Miller lost his company. Anna could have saved it. She chose not to. Instead, she purchased its remaining contracts at auction, paid every unpaid worker, and returned Thomas Harrison's stolen research to his estate. Then she did something Evelyn never expected. She gave the patents to Meridian's employees. I inherited his work, Anna said. But I built this company with all of you. Daniel was charged after Sarah's recording triggered a wider investigation. Ethan remained with Victoria while Michael became part of his life again. Anna did not forgive Victoria. Not yet. But when Victoria finally whispered, "I'm sorry," Anna answered, "then become someone who would never do it again." Margaret asked whether they could start over. Anna shook her head. "We can start differently." Starting over would pretend it never happened. Robert received no such invitation. One evening, Anna found him waiting outside Meridian. "I was your father for 19 years, he said. Anna looked at him. "No. You were the man I spent 19 years trying to convince to love me." She walked past him. Upstairs, Lily ran into her arms. "Mom, look." She held up a drawing of Meridian's new headquarters. Above the entrance, Lily had written, "Harrison Miller Technologies." Anna smiled. She had kept Miller not for Robert, but because it belonged to the frightened pregnant girl who had walked through the rain with $17 and refused to disappear. Years ago, her family had closed a door because they believed Anna was their greatest shame. Now thousands of people walk through doors bearing her name. Anna looked at her daughter and finally understood. The greatest revenge had never been becoming richer than the people who abandoned her. It was building a life where their approval had no value at all.